Mr. President, this of course is the heart of the matter. Mr. President, over the years, with the establishment of ICPC, EFCC, the police, the custom, and other 18 agencies listed, it has been almost problematic, almost impossible to be able to identify.
Hello, what up, followers and subscribers of Legal Son. I hope this video finds you well. Guys, Senator Ningi is out again. This guy has exposed EFCC. He said EFCC, they are reluting what they claim to recover. You understand? Stolen money, stolen water they are collecting from individuals, organizations, right? He said they are reluting it. You understand? Guys, watch the video to the end. I want to know your take on this. It's an interesting conversation that took place at House of Rest, which was raised by, Senator Ningi and others. Please, kindly let me give you a thumbs up and endeavor to share. Thanks.
For this well-lucid, well-researched presentation of this bill. Mr. President, this of course is the heart of the matter. Mr. President, over the years, with the establishment of ICPC, EFCC, the police, the custom, and other 18 agencies listed, it has been almost problematic, almost impossible to be able to identify proceeds of crimes in respect of properties, in respect of monies, in respect of recoveries. There is no joint effort by these agencies in bringing about there is no clear joint effort by these agencies in bringing about to the attention of the general public of these identifiable proceeds that have been given, that have been collected from financial crimes. We don't know as yet, even with the position of the Constitution in Section 88, which empowers the National Assembly to be able to identify these proceeds. We have not, in the course of time, in the last 15 years, Mr. President, have been able to do a very diligent job on this. Nobody knows how many properties recovered, from where, by who, and how much is auctioned. All we work on here is that property A, B, C, D have been recovered by either ICPC, by EFCC, by the police, by the custom, and we don't even know where the process goes. Severally, in the course of this assignment, of a legislative assignment, we had cause, Mr. President, to raise observation and objections and the way and manner process of crime is being dispersed in this country. All that you do here is that when a particular property is auctioned, when the particular money is recovered, that it has been transmitted to the national account.
Thank you very much. Your time is up because we are...
Mr. President, this is laudable, this is commendable, and the chair should be able to commend Idiot for this bringing this bill because it's the heart of the matter. I so submit.
Thank you. We now give the floor to the Chief.
Very much, Mr. President, distinguished senators. My name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Mr. President, this bill is very, very noble. Noble in the sense that it's very, very unique. What it seeks to achieve is to separate all the anti-graft agencies from being the investigators, the prosecutors, and also being in custody of the proceeds of crime. That system is very, very messy. So what this bill seeks to do is to separate the management of the proceeds of crime from the 18 other agencies that are responsible for this, so that a single agency will be responsible for that. And it will go a long way in bringing transparency in the operation of the system. And she has also alluded to the fact that it is already applicable in other jurisdictions, in other climes, like the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and what have you. So what this bill seeks to do is to also bring our own system in tandem with international best practice, and therefore second the second reading of this bill.
Thank you very much, Senator Sanimus. I have 2 minutes. Representing Niger East Senatorial District. Mr. President, I stand to support this bill. And the support I have for this bill is that we should look at our existing laws, strengthen them, especially in areas of recovery and management of process of crime. When an agency, example like the EFCC, ICPC, have been able to recover proceeds from illegalities, it is important that we strengthen those acts, that if those monies are collected, those monies should automatically go into the purse of the federal government. And if it is a recovery done for a state, that money should automatically go to that state. I don't think there is need for us to create an agency to manage recovery of proceeds. But the existing laws that we have should be strengthened. Where necessary, we should amend so that all proceeds of crime should not be retained by those agencies that maybe went to the courts and were able to get these either properties, monies, or what have you. But whatever they are able to recover, we should make it as a law. Once it is declared proceeds of recovery, it should go to the states or the federal government. And this is my take. Thank you, Senator. Then you have 2 minutes. Thank you.
The present laws as established clearly empowers the various agencies that recover these monies. If it is money, it is domiciled with central bank in the account of the federal government. If it is money that relates to a person, it is refunded to that person. If it is money that relates to state, it is refunded to the states. Why do we create another agency when already we have several of these agencies that are feeding fat on the lean resources of the federal government? There is no need to establish a further agency.
Thank you, Senator Issa Jibrin Oshocho. Have your own.
Issa Jibrin, representing the very good people of Kogi East. Mr. President, I rise to wholeheartedly support this bill, ably moved by Senator Adibule. This bill is apt. Okay, what she's trying to portray here is that there are leakages in the sale of these assets by those agencies that recover these assets. Okay, there are situations where these assets are sold to the staff of those agencies. And what she is saying that we need to block those leakages. Let there be an independent agent, okay, comprised of valuers and accountants that can get us the best value for these assets. We're not talking of utilization of the fund. We are talking of administration of the sale of these assets. I wholeheartedly support her, and I think this bill is apt. Thank you.
Thank you. I put the question.
Act 2022, number 16. The bill, among other things, seeks to establish an agency to manage assets and properties reasonably suspected to have been derived from unlawful activities, to create transparency, accountability, and to ensure adequate protection for the recovery items. Paragraph 2, paragraph 3 talks about the background to the bill in question. And so, I will go to the 4th paragraph. This overlapping responsibility make efficiency However, this enormous responsibility in the Proceeds of Crime Act 2022 has been assigned to different agencies of government in Section 4 of the Act. These agencies refers to in the Act as relevant organizations are all charged with the responsibility to investigate, detect, identify, and recover assets and prosecute the unlawful activities as contained in Section 2, 3, and 4. By these provisions, Mr. President, in the overlapping of these roles of this investigator, prosecutor, executor, and exercising powers of recovery and management of proceeds of crime. This overlapping responsibility make efficiency, transparency, and accountability difficult in the discharge of the core mandate of these relevant agencies, thereby depriving our country of the full benefit of establishing them. It's also making it difficult to have standardized mode of engagement on recovery and management of these assets across the 18 organizations. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is against this background that I present this amendment bill, which seeks to divest the function of recovery and management of proceeds of crime from the core functions of those 18 organizations to give them effectiveness, efficiency, and focus. The authority granted these 18 relevant agencies listed in Section 82, which include the EFCC, Nigerian Customs Services, ICPC, and other coalition of different law enforcement and security entities, enabled each organization to create proceeds of crime directories that operates and deal with recovered proceeds of crime independently without proper coordination and standardization. This situation is therefore a sure path. Is it a sure path? Is therefore a sure path to manage all assets? Yes, thank you. Consequently, this subsisting coordinated environment presents a fertile ground for corruption and abuse of the proceeds adopted in the management of recovered assets, which is required by Nigerians at different times when expressing their frustration about transparency and accountability in the management of recovered proceeds of crime, thereby lending credence to the position canvassed by this bill that the management of proceeds of crime should be separated from the duties of agencies responsible for the investigation, prosecution, and recovery of proceeds of crime assets. To this end, this amendment hopes to ensure transparency, check and balances in the management of recovered assets designated as proceeds of crime, as well as the introduction of policies and guiding principles that create unified regulations and processes for the management and disposal of the forfeited assets. Establish an agency vested with the administration and management of forfeited or recovered assets and properties designated as proceeds of crime. This centralization agency will be charged with the responsibility to collaborate with the directorates of proceeds of crime in the 18 agencies of government. Distinguished colleagues, to further strengthen the Proceeds of Crime Act with amendments that will provide for the creation of a data bank for all assets and properties that are proceeds of crime forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria under an automated forfeited asset management system. This provision will be a significant addition to an automated asset forfeited management system that will restore information about all the assets and properties that are proceeds of crime in a way that will grant control accessibility to authorized institutions and agencies for the promotion of effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. Furthermore, the bill advocates that the function of the relevant agencies should stop at investigation, prosecution, and recovery of assets and properties that are proceeds of crime, while the effective holding, management, disposal of the recovery assets and properties should be discharged through an independent agency of government charged with responsibility under the Act. It must be mentioned that the provision of Section 3E that mandate the 18 agencies to work with the Federal Ministry of Justice is limited only to negotiating the repatriation of all assets seized from foreign countries and does not satisfactorily address the issue of effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, it's imperative at this juncture to reference that the amendment being sought for the proceeds of crime recovery, management, and disposal of recovered assets of crime is mirroring the practice in several other jurisdictions like United Kingdom, United States, Australia, and South Africa, to mention a few, where recovered assets that are proceeds of crimes are managed in more organized manner with effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. These are examples of countries that have separated the responsibilities of prosecution of illicit activities and recovered of assets that are proceeds of crime from the management and disposal has been proposed by this Proc amendment bill. Distinguished Mr. President, distinguished members, the speedy passage of this bill, with your support, will not only confirm our readiness to strengthen and refocus the country institutions charged with the responsibility of prevention, detection, and prosecution of illicit and corrupt practices, but will also ensure that monies and assets recovered from such activities that proceeds of crimes are accounted for, managed judiciously, and plowed back to the economy for the growth and development of our country. In conclusion, Mr. President, dear colleagues, I thank you all for your kind attention and solicit your support for the second reading of this bill. I so submit.
Thank you, Senator. Read a second time, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.